Welcome to the AttainaCare employee training video. At this point, as either an employee or a representative of the AttainaCare network, you should have received login credentials for the AttainaCare system. I'm going to go ahead and log in underneath my own account. After logging in, you may only have access to the AttainaCare admin portal. This is perfectly fine because that's where you'll be spending all of your time for onboarding new customers and supporting existing customers. Going into the admin portal, the dashboard does not really have any content. You will be spending most, if not all, of your time with the users section, the facilities section, and the insurance section. You can ignore dashboard, silos, and transports either because they're meaningless or they're dangerous. Let's start off first with an example facility that is signing up. Let's call it the XYZ Home Health. First off, we need to make sure XYZ Home Health actually exists in the AttainaCare system. So we're going to go over to Facilities. There are a lot of options here, but the only option you need to be concerned with is this top left box that says however many total facilities might exist at that time. So we'll go ahead and click View All, and it'll take a little bit to load, and it's going to show us a list of all 5,000 or whatever amount of facilities we have inside the AttainaCare network. So if we type XYZ, we will notice that the XYZ Home Health is not actually part of our system. So at this point, we're going to click Add Facility. We will then be prompted with the facility name, XYZ Home Health, 123 Main Street. Let's say in Portland, Oregon, and then 97504. I realize this zip code is incorrect, but just for the sake of example. Now, if you know their phone number, it would be excellent to add that. Same with their CMS rating and their provider number if they've got one. The critical information, however, is their name, their address, and you must make sure to select the correct silo. A silo is essentially a category for this particular facility. In our case, we are adding a home health facility. So we're going to make sure they're in the home health category. Now, I'm working with production data, so I'm not going to submit this, but normally you would click the submit button. So after we've added our facility, we need to then add a user to be the supervisor or manager of that facility. Now, I've clicked the Users tab, and currently there are only a few users in the AttainaCare system. I'm going to go ahead and click the green button that says Add User. Let's say their email address is supervisor@homehealth.com. The probability of this, of course, is very minimal. So their first name is going to be Home and last name Supervisor, just for fun. And then you will, of course, give them a password. Presumably, you might be on the phone with this customer, and you can ask them what they want their password to be. Otherwise, creating a random one for them is perfectly fine. Based on today's date, or your favorite number or color, it doesn't really matter. They can change it when they log in. Normally, you would hit Submit, but I'm going to close this particular dialog. Now, after you've created this new user, your job is not done. You still have to give the user permission to access their new facility. In this case, XYZ Home Health. So just for fun, let's say I have just added Amy at retirementconnection.com. We're going to go ahead and edit her account. And here you can see that we can always change the email address, first and last name of this particular user account, and we can actually set a new password for them if they want or need to reset their password. You will notice a checkbox that says AttainaCare Admin. You should always leave this unchecked if they are a normal AttainaCare customer or provider. The only people that need AttainaCare Admin access are employees of Retirement Connection or AttainaCare. You'll notice that underneath Facility Permissions, there are no facilities that Amy has access to. So I'm going to click Add Facility, and at this point we would look for XYZ Home Health. But I did not actually add that particular home health, so I'm just going to choose one at random for training. Let's say that Maryville is the actual home health facility that we have added. You'll notice that after clicking it, the Maryville nursing home has now shown up underneath facility permissions. However, this user still does not have access to do anything except simply accept and reject patients. You have these checkboxes that you can set to allow this user to manage other users, which makes them a manager. So presumably, after setting up XYZ Home Health in the system, then now you are setting up a manager for XYZ Home Health. You will want to give them access to manage their own employees. That's what this first checkbox allows them to do. So if you give them permission to manage users and transfer patients between users, that allows them to then go in and create their own employee accounts. So the idea is that you create a single user profile that is a manager, meaning you give them access to manage their users, and then they can then go in and create all their little miniature user accounts as much as they want. But they can never have access to more than just the facilities that you have given them access to. So we'll go ahead and give them all the capabilities of a typical manager. Most facility managers will want all 4 of these checkboxes because they do want to manage their own employees. They also want to manage availability. And of course, without managing availability, then there's no way for them to update their availability in the AttainaCare system. Then, of course, they want to manage their pictures and videos for virtual tours, and they want to run reports for availability and various other things. So at that point, you simply click Submit. So at this point, what we've done, just to go over real quick, is we've gone to the Facilities section to add a brand new customer that previously did not exist in the AttainaCare network. Then we went to the Users tab to create our first user, Amy, who has access to our new home health facility, in this case, Maryville Nursing Home. After creating the facility and then creating the user, we then went into editing the user to add the Maryville Nursing Home facility to her user profile. Then we gave her permission to all of these 4 items. This means that Amy can now log in to AttainaCare with all the permissions necessary to be a manager of her own facility. Lastly, we will need to talk about insurance. Currently, if you click insurance, there are very few insurance providers in our list. However, there are many insurance providers out there. So if a healthcare or a provider company calls and says that we don't offer one of the insurance providers, you simply you simply click the green button that says Add Provider. You name the provider. I'm not going to do it here, but normally you would just, type in whatever insurance XYZ1, and you would hit Submit, and that would then add the new insurance company to be used by other healthcare providers and facilities. So, just to recap, we have created a brand new facility, which is a new customer signing up for AttainaCare services. We have created a new user account, and after creating Amy's account, we have gone in and edited her user account and given her access to her new facility, which by clicking the Add Facility button. After adding the Maryville Nursing Home facility, or that's just an example, whatever facility they normally have access to, we have then given this particular user, Amy, access to all 4 of the options here because she is a manager and she wants to manage all of her permissions. After that, you are done with the onboarding process. Then, of course, in the future, if we ever need to add more insurance providers to the system, you can go into the insurance section and simply add more providers. Something to note on the topic of insurance is you actually can set up and control what insurances each facility offers. So if you go into Facilities and you click View All in order to view all of our facilities, let's use Maryville again. as our example. So Maryville Nursing Home. There you can edit, which will simply allow you to rename it, set the new address, set the phone number, etc. However, this insurance button allows you to select which insurance providers the Maryville Nursing Home accepts. Or you can click the big red button that says click here if this facility accepts all insurances. Normally this button only applies to hospitals because hospitals are insurance agnostic, but you never know. The button is there for you to use if necessary. This has been a quick 10 or 11 minute tour of the AttainaCare administrative portal. If there are any questions, feel free to email me at luke@AttainaCare.com or simply rewatch sections of this video to learn more.